Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder. Still sticking with the same team as the previous episode, the Mega Salamence team with Sylveon, as we're just going to jump right into it and look for a battle. So our rating is currently 1796, slowly recovering after that really bad streak of disconnections where I fell down from 1860, but we are making our way back up as Jean from Canada is going to be our first opponent of the day with a rating of 1739. So a win here will be able to put us back into the 1800s, so that's what we're aiming for. As Jean here has a team of Kangaskhan, Rotom, Landers, T, Sylveon, Talonflame, and Amoonguss, so pretty standard looking team in terms of Pokemon, especially the Kangaskhan, the Landers, the Sylveon. Let's see. Salamence is good, but it's gotta avoid the Rotom Wash for sure. That's like the main issue. And Amoonguss and Salamence is a really good combo here, bar the Talonflame. So I'm thinking if I can eliminate Talonflame, the Salamence Amoonguss core would be really solid in the back. Let's see though. The real question is what I want to lead with. I think Terrakion is kind of a solid lead regardless of what my opponent brings, just because it threatens the Talonflame right from the beginning. So I kind of want to go Terrakion Gengar. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with those two. In the back, definitely want Salamence. And for the last one, it's really, do I want Bisharp or Amoonguss? Just because Bisharp puts on a lot of offensive pressure against my opponent in this game as well. But the thing about Amoonguss is my opponent doesn't have any way to KO it other than the Talonflame, so if I can just focus down the Talonflame, then Amoonguss really gives my opponent trouble. It's just that Bisharp gives me a lot more offense, whereas Amoonguss allows me to play a bit more defensively, potentially get some spores around, Rage Powder, etc. So, tough call here to make. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Amoonguss though, just because it just checks my opponent's team so well. This is a tough call to make. The main thing is if I bring Amoonguss and not Bisharp, hitting the Landorus might be a bit hard just because it can spread Intimidates around. But you know what? I'm gonna go with Amoonguss. I thought in the beginning of Team Preview Amoonguss would be a decent choice, so we'll see. Like I said, I do want to eliminate the Talonflame right away, just because once Talonflame is gone, my opponent has no way to really deal with the Amoonguss. Unless, of course, it's Helping Hand Sylveon and Ice Punch Kangaskhan like we saw in Road to Ranked recently. But I'm not even leading with the Amoonguss this time around. As I go with Gengar and Terrakion against Kangaskhan and Sylveon, that is a pretty solid lead matchup here for me. As, I would suspect a Fake Out into Gengar turn 1. So I kind of want to just switch into Amoonguss here for Gengar and close combat the Kangaskhan, expecting him to Fake Out my Terrakion. But the thing is, expecting him to Fake Out Gengar in Scrappy form. The main issue with that is, if he doesn't make that play, actually, you know what? I'm just going to protect this first turn and switch out the Gengar. I'm going to play it a bit safer here. Just because I really want this Terrakion to potentially knock out the Talonflame in the back. And there's really no downside to this, just because Kangaskhan and Sylveon can't really deal with the Amoonguss very well in the first place, as Kangaskhan Mega Evolved, so I guess he did target down the Terrakion, so good thing I decided to just protect there. But I really didn't want to risk breaking my Focus Sash there with the Gengar. So I'm going to protect, as Kangaskhan, yep, did go for the Fake Out onto Terrakion, as Sylveon just launches that Hyper Voice immediately. And that's fine by me, but it does a ton of damage, so it should be choice specs based off that damage output. So let's see. I could switch out Terrakion here, expecting him to switch out as well, but I could also close combat and spore that slot, which is actually what I'm tempted to do right now. Because close combat will pick up the knockout, but should he choose to switch out into, say, Landorus, then I get to put that to sleep immediately. However, that does mean I give up Terrakion as a result. Alternatively, what I could do here is spore the Kangaskhan slot, expecting a switch out, and switch out my own Terrakion to preserve it for the remainder of the game going into, say, Gengar. So the question here is, do I want to play more defensively? Because the issue here is, should I choose to make this play and he stays in with Kangaskhan, then I'm a goner. But you know what? I really can't foresee Kangaskhan staying in, so I'm going to make this play. So I'm going to switch out here, expecting my opponent to switch out that Kangaskhan. Let's see if he goes for it. Yep, Kangaskhan does switch out, so I do call that correctly. I expect Landorus T to come in here. But it's Talonflame, fine by me. As Sylveon does get another Hyper Voice off here, but not going to be able to KO either my Pokemon, but still gets so much damage off. And I do put the Talonflame to sleep, which is really good. So the fact that Landorus T didn't come in there, I don't know. It makes me think like maybe my opponent didn't bring Landorus, but now I'm just gonna Spore Sylveon and Sludge Bomb the Talonflame. Actually, in retrospect, I might have wanted to Sludge Bomb the Sylveon there just because I can switch in my Terrakion this following turn and Rock Slide to KO both. But let's see, as Sylveon does get another Hyper Voice off, and Amoonguss is able to hang on with 24 HP, which is great. Crit there on Gengar, that obviously at this rate doesn't really matter, but I am able to put the Sylveon to sleep as well. So this was kind of my game plan. You know, I decided I was going to sacrifice the offense from my Bisharp just because I knew my opponent didn't have many good ways to deal with the Amoonguss. So I feel pretty decent about my position right now. I'm gonna bring in actually, I could bring in Mence here and just go for a Dragon Dance immediately, and switch out the Amoonguss into Terrakion. That is the tempting play. Let's see. Based off what my opponent has in the back, he's got a Rotom Wash potentially saved up in the back though, so I'm not sure if that. Do I really need to Dragon Dance? I don't know though. If my opponent has Landorus, it's probably Scarf. So we've seen Kangaskhan, Talonflame, Sylveon. What is my opponent's last Pokemon? I'd guess Landorus or Rotom Wash. So let's see. I could get a guaranteed Dragon Dance off by Rage Powdering and Dragon Dancing. And I honestly think that's the play I'm going to go for. Or I could alternatively just Double Edge Sylveon, but I think a Dragon Dance here would be really good for me. Okay, so both Pokemon are going to stay in. If Talonflame does not wake up, I'm fine with it regardless, because should it wake up and knock out Amoonguss, that's a free switch into Terrakion. Now, I have been playing quite passively this game, and as you see, I am really behind on damage output, but Immense with Dragon Dance up is just really threatening. As Talonflame actually stays asleep for another turn, so that's good news for me. Because it means that I will be able to get this free Dragon Dance up with Salamence. So that's really, really big. As Sylveon, of course, is going to take its first turn of sleep. So now all I have to do is just Double Edge the Sylveon and Rage Powder to draw away the Brave Bird, yeah. And the main issue is I'm going to be taking a lot of recoil damage from the Double Edge, but, you know, that's kind of what I had to deal with. I might be switching to Return in the future just because the recoil damage really picks up. Talonflame here does wake up. It is able to get the Brave Bird off against the Amoonguss, and that's just going to knock me out. If it has Life Orb, he might actually knock himself out here, so I'm hoping it's Life Orb because the recoil will allow my opponent to take himself out. Recoil, no Life Orb. Okay, so I get the Double Edge against the Sylveon. That's going to knock it right out. So 2-3 now. Of course, my opponent has a Kangaskhan in the back, but yeah, I'm not sure. I think I should have switched out Amoonguss because if my opponent has Rotom Wash in the back here, I might be in some trouble. But Landorus comes in. Okay. Well, now this gets interesting. I think it's Scarf Landorus, like I said. And I don't think, since the Talonflame is intimidated, he can't knock me out. So I think I'm just going to Rock Slide here. And Double Edge Landorus. And that is why I went for the Dragon Dance earlier on with Mence. But let's see how this plays out. And Talonflame might actually knock itself out from recoil damage as well. Of course, the Intimidate negates my +1 attack boost, so the Landorus may or may not be able to survive this Double Edge depending on how bulky it is. Well, we're about to find out though. If I can manage to go past this turn with both of my Pokemon, I think I'll end up winning just because Kangaskhan is my opponent's last Pokemon. So you see here, Amoonguss definitely did its job in terms of playing the more passive role, but I'm thinking maybe I should have just brought Bisharp instead, just because Bisharp really threatens Landorus, of course. You can Sucker Punch Kangaskhan for over 50%. So it definitely was a tough call to make, but the Amoonguss did allow me to get a +1 boost with this Salamence. As he actually switches out, interesting decision here. Going back out into Kangaskhan. As Talonflame goes for the Brave Bird, who does it target? Is it going to be Salamence? It's probably going to be Mence, yeah. Oh, a crit! Really? That was a very smart switch, though. I think my opponent might have been able to win that game regardless of the crit. Just because I would have knocked myself out from potential recoil damage, I think. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. I basically let's see. Landorus is gonna come in here. Let's figure out what item it has. It's gonna intimidate my Terrakion here. Not gonna be able to win, but I do want to scout out for the item. So that was a really good play, and I do think ultimately I probably should have brought Bisharp in this match over Amoonguss, just because it would have allowed me to deal with the Landorus a bit better. And Amoonguss just took on way too much damage from those Hyper Voices, as he actually went for the Sucker Punch into Terrakion. As the superpower comes out too, that indicates to me it is indeed Scarf Landorus. So that was actually a very smart switch into the Kangaskhan. I don't think I could have hung on from the my way of winning there, as Landorus, yep, does get that superpower off, revealing it is Choice Scarf. My way of winning there was basically relying on Double Edge not KOing the Kangaskhan, but of course the Talonflame was at -1 and Salamence is pretty defensively bulky, so even with the Double Edge, since I was at neutral at that point, I'm not sure if I would have hung on, I think with very little HP. I'd have to run the damage calculations, but had I been able to survive that turn, what I could have done was he'd switch into Landorus T, but since Landorus is Scarfed, it can't effectively deal with Salamence and Terrakion. I mean, I guess he could have just Sucker Punched and Super Powered. Actually, in retrospect, yeah, I think my opponent had that game locked down in the end. So I do feel like I misplayed a bit by bringing in Amoonguss in general. I'm not sure. Amoonguss did his job, but I felt like more offensive pressure would have helped out a lot. So I probably should have brought Bisharp. So unfortunately, we are going to lose that battle, dropping down to 1778. Yeah, it's been a rough kind of streak with this team, which is why I'm definitely going to drop it soon, as we're going to find Paul Chua once again from New Jersey with a rating of 1888. This is probably like the 10th time I've played Paul. Once again, I played him once on Road to Rank, but twice outside of Road to Rank, and then I played him 3 times at our local Premier Challenge. So Paul and I have played so many times. Of course, we did play in the finals or semifinals of the 2012 U.S. National Championships. I played him in round 3 of the World Championships in 2012 as well. So we've played a very, very long time. And of course, for those that don't know him, he is the 2013 U.S. National Champion in seniors, qualified for Worlds the last 3 years. Fantastic player, definitely one of the top players in America. He definitely has revolutionized Trick Room Hail. As you see, his team here is Jellicent, Abomasnow, Landorus, Scrafty, Heatran, and Togekiss. So a win here would put us back over 1800, which would be nice, especially after that last game, which I feel like, I don't know, I kind of mismanaged in terms of playing. But let's see. So the last time I played Paul, I actually managed to win in 3 turns because he led Togekiss and Heatran, and I predicted he wouldn't follow me with Togekiss, just close combated Heatran with my Terrakion, and I basically won from there. I don't know, I don't think he can really effectively deal with the Terrakion and Sylveon lead, so I'm tempted to go with those two. Yeah, Bisharp is also really good against Paul's team, so I'm going to have that in the back. Now, normally, I've brought Amoonguss in a good amount of times against Paul. I'm not really sure if I want to bring it this time, though. I think I'm going to opt for a Salamence instead, actually. As we saw in the last game, Amoonguss ended up being a bit too passive, so I wasn't able to get much damage off. So I'm going to take a lesson from that last game and go a bit more on the offense this turn. But this should be a very interesting match. Of course, I used to have Hydreigon on this team, and I have Sylveon now, and I think Sylveon helps out a considerable more against Paul than the Hydreigon would have had. As he leads with Togekiss and Abomasnow, this is a really good lead matchup for me. Because all I have to do, honestly, is just Rock Slide and Hyper Voice, because the Abomasnow is slower than Sylveon. So, this is the first time I've played against Paul with these leads. In the past, he's led with Scrafty, Heatran, I believe, and then Togekiss, Heatran, and then Jellicent, Togekiss. So he does really like going with Togekiss, which makes sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna Rock Slide Hyper Voice this first turn. There's not much he can do. Abomasnow's gonna Mega Evolve. I presume we're gonna see a Protect from Abomasnow. But that's fine by me. I mean, the main issue here, he really needs to oh wow, he doesn't even Protect. Okay. So I'm gonna get a Rock Slide off here. It does a ton of damage to both of his Pokemon. He goes for the Air Slash, so he's probably just going for the flinch right from the beginning. Sylveon does flinch. Had I been able to just get a Hyper Voice off there, it would have been huge. So, of course, flinch chancing is pretty big there. So, if I got my Hyper Voice off there in the first turn, I think I would have just outright won. But, you know, that's what Togekiss is good for, flinching. So, pretty bummed out about that, but that's fine. I'm going to Rock Slide here once again and actually switch out into Bisharp. with Sylveon, just because Rock Slide's going to KO both of his Pokemon anyway. Ice Shard can knock out Terrakion, and by bringing in Bisharp, that punishes either the Scrafty or Landorus T-Switch in, because I'm probably going to pick up at least one knockout this turn. So let's see. Bisharp is going to come in here for the Sylveon. He actually withdraws a Abomasnow, so if the Intimidator comes in here, he's in a lot of trouble. It's going to be Heatran, though, so good switch on Paul's end. Let's see if Togekiss protected. It did protect. Nice play on Paul's end there. So I do get a Rock Slide off here, and it does connect. My heart always, like, pounds for a bit before Rock Slide's animation, and it does a very nice amount of damage to Heatran there, actually. Now let's see. Had I just Hyper Voice there, I would actually gotten a decent amount of damage. I mean, Togekiss once again is in Rock Slide KO range. So I'm definitely going to Rock Slide here, obviously. The question is he going to... I mean, he's probably going to Heat Wave Terrakion. Or, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to Rock Slide and Protect here. There's really not much reason not to. Let's see if he does follow me with Togekiss. Yeah, he kind of had to there, if you ask me. Because if you lost Heatran there, it would basically be a good game. So, Rock Slide... Oh, misses the Heatran and the Togekiss! Oh, this game sometimes just... Okay, Terrakion's able to hang on there with 21 HP, but the hail damage is going to... Oh, wow, I can actually hang on for one more turn of hail. Okay. Oh, that's demoralizing for sure, though. Sometimes this game... Okay, so I'm going to Rock Slide once again, and I'm going to switch out Bisharp here to Salamence, because should he double protect, then I get a Salamence switch in for free, and Bisharp's really not doing very much right now. And based off how much hail damage I took that last turn, I can take one more turn of hail, so should he choose to double protect once again, I get free damage off. He goes for follow me, okay, not double protect. So I'm going to get the Rock Slide to KO the Togekiss, obviously. I'm really hoping I can connect this time. I do connect with both Pokemon. A flinch on Heatran here would be really, really nice, especially after those earlier turns. You know, the flinch onto Sylveon, but he does just connect with Heat Wave here. It's going to knock my Terrakion out. Salamence should not get knocked out. Hopefully no burn here, though. And I did lose the most important Pokemon to this matchup, but you know what? That's fine. It really did its job. As I am going to take some hail damage here. And now things get a bit more interesting. Let's see. I think he's gonna switch into Abomasnow, right? I think he's gonna switch into Abomasnow. So I think I'm just gonna bring up Bisharp, yeah. And it is gonna be Abomasnow. But I could just Sucker Punch Abomasnow here before the Ice Shard, Mega Evolve, and Double Edge should knock out Heatran. Yeah. So I'm just going to make that play. Yeah. Rock Slide double misses are like so unfortunate. Of course, the chance of them happening is only 1%, but they like, I feel like they always happen at like the times you need to hit both attacks the most. But you know what? That's fine. So I'm going to Mega Evolve here with Salamence, obviously. Now let's see how this plays out. Okay, Heatran protects. Does Abomasnow protect, or did he just attack? He does go for the attack. I do get a Sucker Punch out. That should knock out Abomasnow. As it does. Okay, that's close. Since Abomasnow was around 50%, but I do knock out the Abomasnow. Double Edge not going to do much there, but Hail stops. That's really good, and I knocked out Abomasnow, which was by far the biggest threat to that Salamence. So he's going to have Scrafty here, and this is really good news for me, obviously. He's going to give my Bisharp the boost, which is obviously fantastic. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's still not over, but I've got a +1 Bisharp and a Mega Salamence out. I'm going to double protect here just to blow out the fake out from Scrafty. Wait, just got to make sure. Yeah, did not double protect last turn. I always have to ask myself that because sometimes I go for a protect. As Paul actually forfeits there, so I am able to win this game 3-2. Good game to Paul. I feel like the Terrakion Sylveon only just gave me such an advantageous matchup. Given that he was forced to go for the flinch on the first turn, I think it says a lot about the matchup in general. Yeah, Yeah, and I just feel like I definitely got the better of him in terms of the team matchup, which was fortunate. But I am glad I had, for example, did not bring Amoonguss. It is tempting to bring Amoonguss, especially since Paul's team is obviously semi-Trick Room. But I don't know. Amoonguss is one of those Pokemon where you kind of have to think hard about bringing because, like I said, I keep on repeating, but in the first game, I really feel like Bisharp would have helped me out a bit better. But two really great games. I'm really glad I've been able to feature some fantastic matches in the last couple of days. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I will be competing at Apex tomorrow, of course. If you follow Apex at all, there's been a lot of crazy stuff that's gone down, but fortunately, the location was relocated. Pokemon will still be on. It might actually be streamed at Teams. It should be, excuse me, not might be. It should be streamed at Team Spooky's Twitch, which I'll link in the description below at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And if I'm not in the tournament at that point, because it'll probably be pretty far, then I'll definitely be commentating. So one or the other, you should see me on that stream. But anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Leave a like always if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow, both in Road to Ranked and hopefully on Apex's Pokemon VGC 2015 stream. Anyway, that's it for now, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.